In this video, we're going to have a look at how to configure and manage our file folder record profiles. To do that, we first select the application that we want to work with. We then select the Record Profiles tile. In our Configure Record Profiles screen, our file folders are at the top section of the screen. To add a file folder, we click the Add File Folder Profile tile. This takes us to the File Folder Configuration New Profile screen. Here we can give our new profile a name. In this case, we're going to create a file folder profile for finance to group our finance files. Next, we create a number format. This is going to create an auto ID for every file that we create as one of these record profiles. The coding options to create your number format are available in the help file, but you're able to use letters, numbers, a sequence number, which will automatically increment each time a new record is created, as well as day, month, and year values. In this example, we'll start with 2 digits from the year and then a 3-digit sequence number. Last number will indicate the last number in the sequence. We'll start it at 100, and every time we create a record under this profile, that last number will increment. At this point, if we don't want to include any titling structure on our profile, we simply click Create. That returns us to the Configure Record Profile screen, and you can see our new file folder profile has been created. On this tile, we're able to view the auto number format, the titling structure, if we had created, and the number of records that are assigned to this type of profile. Within our RF6 Cloud application, we'll now see in our maintenance menu, our file folder profile finance group has been created. We can now click through to there and start to add records into this group. By clicking Add, we can see our profile screen. We can see our sequence number displaying 2 digits for the year and then a sequence number, which will start at 100. We can also see that there is no titling structure being created for this profile. To add a file folder profile that does include titling structure, we click our Add File Folder Profile tile. We give it a name. In this case, we're creating a profile to group our IT files. We can give it a number format. We can create our starting number. And in this case, we'll change our default selection from no to yes for titling. What appears is our default titling structure, which is 3 levels of titling. Line 1 selecting from a predefined list. Line 2 selecting from predefined list dependent on the value in title 1. And line 3 is selected from a predefined list dependent on the value in title 2. So what we're creating here is a hierarchical titling structure of 3 levels. If we're happy to use the default, we can click Create. And we can see now in a Configure Record Profile screen, our new tile's been created for our IT files. If we now look within our application in a maintenance menu, we can see that our file folder profile for IT files has been created. We can click through there and start to add files that belong to this group. We can see when we add a new folder, our number format displayed as IT with a sequence number. As we selected the default titling structure, we can see we have 3 levels of titling in a hierarchical format. So from our drop down on title 1, we can select a value. Based on that value in title 1 will be our options in title 2, and again our options for title 3. You also have the ability to create your own titling structure rather than using the default. To do that, we click Add File Folder. We give it a name. In this case, we're creating a profile for business service files. We give it a number format. And a starting number. We click Yes for titling. And this time, rather than selecting default for our titling type, we click to custom. Within custom, we can create a new titling structure from scratch. Here we can define the number of lines. We'll say 4. We could then define what values we see in line 1. Here we're going to select from a predefined list. For line 2, we're going to select from a predefined list, again dependent on what's in title 1. And the same for title 3. Select from a predefined list dependent on what's in title 2. For the line 4 of our titles, we're going to have free text. Once we've created our titling structure, we click Create. Alternatively, in our custom titling, rather than creating from scratch, we can actually clone from an existing file folder format. So by selecting Finance and clicking Create, we will replicate and clone the structure that's been created for our file folder Finance. To modify our record profile, we simply click on the tile of the profile we want to modify. In this case, the file folder profile IT files. Once we're in the Modify Profile screen, we can make our changes as required. Keep in mind, if you're changing your titling structure, the values will still exist as they were entered originally with your original title structure. Once you've made your changes, you can click Save or Cancel to discard those changes and return to your record profile screen. To delete a record profile, we click through on its tile and we click Delete. Before we can delete our record profiles, we must ensure that there are no files linked to that profile within our application. If we try to delete at this stage, we will receive an error that we can't delete it because there are records associated with it. In order to delete that record profile, we'd have to come into our application and delete the files that are associated with that profile. Now that we have no records associated, we can go back and we can delete our profile type. And our profile type has now been deleted. After creating file folder record profiles with a titling structure, it's recommended that you go to the Import Titling section of the console and import the appropriate titling for that file type. For more information on that, see the Import section of the help file.